Today's video was supposed to be a trying new makeup video, but my Sephora order is coming from Vancouver. From Vancouver. Go figure. I don't know why it would be coming from Vancouver, but it is. So it has been definitely delayed. But I did have a lovely subscriber named Jody ask me to recreate or do a tutorial on the look that I had on my empties video that I posted just a few days ago. And I thought, what a perfect opportunity to do that. So that's what we're going to be doing here today, just an old-fashioned get ready with me tutorial. It'll be a mishmash of some older products, some newer products. Let's see if I can recreate that look. My face is prepped with my morning skincare. The boring brows are already done, and I've just kind of conditioned my lips with the Guerlain Kiss Kiss Bee Glow in Rose Glow just to get them all moisturized. By the time we get to the lips, I'll take this off and then we'll do our lipstick and liner. I started with my eyes and I want to prep my lids first, and I use the Kosas Revealer Color Corrector in the shade Illusion. Get that on the lids. And then I love using this Sephora 47 brush. It's technically a foundation brush and it's pretty large. I find that I can get this done much more quickly when I use this brush. It's a really good one. You can use it for this, you can use it for concealer. If I wasn't doing my eyes first, for example, I could just take this and kind of apply everything very evenly on the upper and the lower part of my eye, but I'm going to concentrate it on the top part right now. The top part, my lid, that's what they call it. But I do also use this for contour. It's very, very versatile. It stopped snowing, thankfully, but it's quite cold. And the temperature is not cold, but it feels like humid, you know, that kind of cold that hits your bones. That's what we got going on today. I just want to add a little bit here in the corners that I have a lot of darkness, and just kind of angle this in a way that I know it's pretty large. You can use a smaller one, but I don't mind using this one. I'm going to set my eyelids with the Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Feathery in this Real Techniques brush that I love using for this. Any powder, really. Such a great brush. I'll list everything below because I can't remember the name of it. Is it 506, 406? Something like that. Just quickly set that. I don't add concealer on top. I find that the Kosas shade in Illusion, for me, it works as a color corrector, but it's not too orange, it's not too pink. And we're going to be putting our shadow on top. I don't need to add more layers. It's perfectly enough for me for my lids. Then I took the Victoria Beckham, one of her new eye wardrobes in Victoria. Let me show this to you without blinding you with the mirror. This is the color story here. Let me flip it over. And then I took a Refer 01 brush and went into this shade right here and just started placing it all over my lid. I didn't get a lot of fallout from this when I did this look the other day. So technically, you know, I could have done it after I did the rest of my face, but I wanted to do it in the order that I did it for that video. Going all over the lid. This is such a beautiful shade. Now the sun's messing with me today. I'm so happy the sun's out, but it's messing with me, and I might have to adjust my lighting throughout this video. I love filming in natural light, and I've said this so many times before, but sometimes the sun will come through in like a critical part of what I'm trying to talk about or show you, and I have to stop, adjust the exposure so that it doesn't get blown out. As I was saying, what was I saying? That yes, the temperature is not that cold, but there's this like bone chill in the air. By the way, I'm not taking it out too far, but because we're doing our eyes first, I'm not too concerned as to how far out this is going to go because we'll clean it up. I just make sure it, you know, it doesn't take very long to apply this, but I like to take my time, make sure it's all nice and even. and nicely buffed out over here on just above the crease. Next step, we're going to go into this burgundy brown shade with a Refer 13 brush. I love using this brush for more detailed corner work. Make sure to tap off your brush because they don't have a lot of fallout, but they are dusty in the pan. And then I'm just going to start circling this in the outer part of my eye. It's also a little bit different when I'm doing my makeup on camera for you because I can't get my mirror too close to me because otherwise it would be in the shot. So a lot of the times when I'm doing this, I'm like, can I even see what I'm doing here? But that's okay. It usually works out for the most part. And there we've added that gorgeous shade in the outer corner delicately, right? And I'm not, again, not too concerned about this coming too far down because we are going to clean it up, but I don't, go crazy. I do try to contain it where I want it. And then I'm going to bring it just a little bit further. Whatever is still left on the brush, just bring it in a little bit further in to my eye, but not all the way. Then I took a 02 brush and went into the sparkly shade and lightly add it to the lid. So when I did my video on all 4 of these Victoria Beckham Eye Wardrobes, I did mention that the variation in this particular one called Victoria wasn't there. I wished that there was something a little bit lighter to brighten up the look. And someone did mention, take a fluffy brush and do a dusting. And I have tried that. And yes, it's not as dense and it's not as dark, but still, I found that the look was not light. It's not a light look you're going to get from this. Because in that video, I did use my finger, I believe, and packed on the shade. And this one is more of not like a packing brush. It is more dense. But I have used it with a light fluffy brush. And at the end, yes, it is a little bit of a lighter look. It still looks kind of the same. But I do like that first shade that I applied as a one and done. So it is really pretty though. Then I grabbed a Refer 13, a clean one, and just went around the edges just to diffuse everything and make it all look nice. I'm barely touching my skin with the tip of this brush. Then I took the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in the shade Fig. Beautiful burgundy shade, but it's not too red where it will make me look sickly, if you know what I mean. I love it. It's so nice. So I don't tug, I just hold. There's a difference. So I just start at the edge here. This is so creamy and it glides right on. And I just go in little steps. Now that my eyelids are a little bit wrinkly, I used to be able to do the swoop and I'd be done. But now I tread carefully. And I just move my way over. I take my time with it, but I did bring it all the way. I brought it from the inner corner all the way over. Very hard for me to see what I'm doing right now, but hopefully it looks good. We'll figure it out. And I don't mind if this is a little bit of a thicker line because what I'm going to do and what I did the other day is I made this a little bit of a thicker line and then went in with the darkest shade in the Victoria palette and went very close to my lash line. So this kind of peeks through right above that much darker shade. And then when I got to the end here, I'm not too fussed about it because we're going to clean it up. But I do want this Fig shade to play on that deeper plummier shade that we have in the outer corner. I'm not too fussed about this, not too fussed at all, because it will all come together. I hope. Can you imagine if I mess this up? That would suck. Now we're going to go into that darkest shade in here with a BK Beauty N11 angled brush. Stamp this, basically stamp it right on the lash line. just to deepen it out. I love this angled brush because I can just use the tip of it when I need to. Like I flip it over and just wing this out a little bit. And if I want to do really detailed work, I just use the tip of it. Or I can just flip it over and just stamp all the way across. I love this brush. I want to bring this out just a little bit more. So we still have that eyeliner kind of peeking through, but you can't, it's not that noticeable. It's a subtle thing, but I love that. So when I brought that line out a little bit, I can see I'm missing a little bit of this burgundy shade. I kind of go, it's like a reddish brown shade. I'm going back with the same brush I used for this shade, the number 13 Rephr, and I'm just going to gently just go in and reinforce those spots that look like they're missing just a little bit, not too much. I always look wild when I do my eyes first. Never think anything is going the way you think it's supposed to go, but it all comes together. We'll come back to the eyes, but for now, I'm grabbing one of my Eyeshadow cotton pads. Oh, I love these. They're so soft. A pointy Q-tip, like not the rounded ones, the ones with the point on them, and my Bioderma micellar water. And I just put a little bit on the cotton pad. Then I put my pointy Q-tip, or whatever you want to call it, and I wrap it in there. And that way we can be gentle on our under eye area. So I'm going to start over here and pick up any fallout that I may have had. Not so much on this eye than this eye, but I just work from here and bring it up and clean up over here. You can still take advantage of the point on these without them poking you, because they can poke, right? But I like that peeking through from the cotton round is that precision, but you are protected, your skin's protected by this cotton round. It's not a round, it's a square. I forget what they're called, but I love them so much. They're not crazy expensive, these Eyeshadow cotton pads, but I don't use anything else. You could even, if you don't want to use that pointed, what are they called? Swabs? I don't want to say Q-tips, but you know, it's like Kleenex. Fold this with your micellar water and then just very, very gently move across. So you don't necessarily have to use that. You can just use this, fold it over, and achieve the exact same thing. Okay, let's even out the skin. In that video, I used the new Makeup Forever Super Boost Skin Tint. I love this. I really, really do. The packaging was an issue for me, but I will show you. I don't know if it was just stiff because it was new, but I haven't been having any issues. I'm going to do 2 squirts. Having any issues using this pump since I've kind of worked it in. So maybe it was user error when I first tried it, or I don't know what's going on, but I haven't had any issues since. Anyway, 2 pumps and a BK Beauty N17. And just gonna work it into the brush. Start evening out our skin tone, shade 05. Normally I would use a primer, but I forgot that day. So I'm doing the exact same thing that I did for that video. And I was putting this on and I thought, oopsie, I forgot a primer. And honestly, at the end of the day, it didn't matter because my makeup lasted all day long and it didn't have any effect on anything. So it was unnecessary for this skin tint in particular, at least. And so I decided not to use a primer for this video. I can build up this skin tint so you still see a little bit of my imperfections coming through, but it's so natural looking. It feels wonderful on the face, and I have really been enjoying using this. Just a couple of more pumps because I do want to be able to build this up. You can go in with a very sheer layer of this, but because I want to cover a little bit more than maybe the next person, I use a little bit more product, but it doesn't build up in a heavy way. It just gives you a little bit of extra coverage, but it feels like you have nothing on your skin at all, at all. And I just want to mention this N17 brush from BK Beauty. I kind of like putting foundation on with this around the brows if I've done them already, because it's so flexible and you can really work around areas you don't want to kind of touch. Sometimes I do find that it can be streaky, so I tend to use this for thicker foundations, not necessarily skin tints. You really gotta work it in. It can be streaky. But this is the brush I used when I did that look the other day. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. Because it's pretty thin, it's a skin tint, it's light. I would have used something else. But in the end, it works out. Before I get to my under eyes, I applied my contour, bronzer, and blush Dior Forever contour stick in the shade 02 Tan. And with this one, because it's so pigmented, I take it straight from the stick onto the brush and I start applying carefully. It is, you could go in and do the lines, but when I've done that, I can easily overdo it. And you know, I like subtle. I like subtle, but this stick is just so beautiful. Did I tell you this is a Mario F4, Mario F4 brush? Building kind of, you know, creating a little contour here, but this is the warmest shade in the bunch. There are 4 shades available in this, and I just started building under my cheekbone here and bringing it up just a little bit. It just melts right into your skin. So, so easy to work with. Apply this to my forehead as well, just to add some warmth there. And then I also took the tip of the brush and just applied a little bit on my nose. And then just take the tip again and just kind of bring it down, just so that there aren't any harsh lines there. I'll make sure this is all blended out when everything is said and done with the makeup. All right, blush time. This is the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blush in the shade Scene. Make sure to shake it up and just one little drop. Boop. That's all you need. I could technically take another brush to apply this, but when I did this look, I just used the same brush that I used to apply my bronzer. They're all kind of working together anyway, so why make brush laundry, okay? But if you don't like doing that, definitely take another brush. I would use like maybe a BK Beauty 109 if I was going to grab another one, but I'm just taking the same Mario brush and applying this gorgeous, and when I mean gorgeous, blush. Oh, it's so pretty. Don't be afraid of this blush. I know it can be like those liquid thingies can be pretty intimidating, and I would never apply it straight to my cheeks. I like to build. So nice. It's got this dew to it. It dries down. It's not sticky, but it's got it leaves a gorgeous glow. It's so pretty. This shade Scene, oh, I love it. See, and I use the same brush that I used to do the stick contour, and it all works. Okay, one more. I gotta say, uh-oh, that's way, 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 way too much. I'm gonna have to like really work that in because that that a lot came out there. I have to say, I don't really love the pump situation on that, but I'll deal with it because I love the way it looks on the cheeks. Yeah, we got a little bit more. We got a little bit more on this side, but that's okay. Once we apply all of the concealer, some powder, it'll all calm down. These things happen. Or we just even it out and we get a little bit more blush than we intended. That's all. You roll with it. This will definitely all calm down because we still have powder, we still have concealer to put on, so it's okay if it looks like it might be a little bit too much at first. If you're doing things in this order, it'll be fine. A little boop here. I like to apply my blush really, really high lately. Not lately, for a while. Next, I'm going to color correct with the same Kosas color corrector and an N16 from BK Beauty. I don't like to over apply my color corrector and then apply concealer on top. I don't like too many layers under the wrinklies, or over the wrinklies, I should say. So I just take it with the tip of the brush and place it strategically where I can see some extra darkness. This color corrector is quite pigmented. You don't need that much. In fact, I'm going to put a little bit on this side because I can see that I have a little bit too much. And then I'm just going to feather it out a little bit. So I just got a delivery at the door and it was Sephora, and it's not my package. It's my daughter's package. So I got her this app. It's called My Dough. And when she completes chores around the house that I can assign to her on this app, it's pretty cool actually. So I'll tell her, you know, take the garbage out, you get $1 or whatever. So she does all this stuff and it accumulates in her account. And then she can actually use whatever she earns on that app to make purchases. Guess what she's purchasing? Sephora. Sephora, everything Sephora. It really gives her a sense of responsibility and confidence, and she loves being able to make her purchasing decisions based on the amount of money that she has in her account, and I love it. But she always asks me before she makes any purchases, which I also love. We have color corrected. And now we're going to move on to concealer. YSL All Hours Precise Angles Concealer. And this one, when you take it out, the doe foot is so like tight in there that when you pull it out, not too much product comes out. So with this one, I'm very comfortable with going in straight to my face. And I'm just going to apply it here down my nose there, and then I'll bring it out. Actually, I'll put a little bit there. And 14 from BK Beauty, and whatever I applied down here, brighten up that area and bring it all the way across. Cover it all up. Cover it all up. I think I was talking about bones for a reason. Why was I earlier? Why? Oh, right. Tomorrow I'm going for my very first bone density test. Has anyone done one of those? I have not. I don't know what to expect. I asked my mom, and she said it was like a really easy breezy kind of test. But I'm not nervous about it. I just don't know what to expect. I'm also going to add a little bit around my nose and a little bit of a lifty doodles here. Yeah, so anyway, that's what's happening tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm not like, whatever, I don't know. I just having to do all these tests I've never had to do before. Now that I'm in my 50s, I don't know. I feel some kind of way about it. Does that make sense? Brighten up a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit there, a little bit down my nose, and a little bit here. That's what I did the other day anyway. Did I tell you what shade I use? That's a good question because I can't see it. One sec. LN4. LN4. Just get this on. Then I took the Gucci highlighter in Opal Pink, same brush that I used for my blush. It doesn't always translate on camera, but this was gorgeous. Sometimes when I'm editing, I'm like, oh my God, that highlighter just looked so much more beautiful in real life than it translates on camera, and it bothers me. But that's okay. It is stunning. I love, love. Like I'm adding more. And I'm a subtle kind of everything person when it comes to my complexion, and it's so pretty. And because we have a liquid blush on, and because I'm using the same brush to apply this, it kind of all works together instead of having like a streak of highlight on your cheekbones. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I like more of a cohesive kind of highlight, right? Add a little bit on the bridge of my nose, just a little bit, and on my Cupid's bow. Next is powder, and this is the Tarte Creaseless Powder in the shade Yellow. Use the little puff that comes in here. Make sure it's properly distributed. And then I went in to set my under eyes and down my nose and my chin. Basically just the T-zone area here as well. I didn't powder anywhere else. Oh, actually, no, I did. I powdered just a little bit right here on my jaw, right underneath where we have the contour, just a little bit. Whatever was left on the powder puff. Let's finish off these eyes. I used a BK Beauty N12, and I did a mixture of this shade right here and this shade right here. Holding my breath because sometimes this doesn't work out for me, because I have such a hard time with shadow on my lower lash line. Seems to be working out okay today though. And I just bring it back to connect it back to the outer corner here. We're done with Victoria, but what a beautiful case. Can we admire how beautiful this case is? Gorgeous. I did go back in with Fig and added it to my lower waterline. And this just glides right on. Back to that Refer 13 that we used to clean up the edges and just making sure everything is perfected, especially out here. And then I wanted to brighten up this look just a little bit in the inner corner. So I took that same brush that's pretty clean. I mean, it does have some product in it because we have been running it lightly over the shadow, but that doesn't matter. I took the Rare Beauty highlighter, the powder highlighter in the shade Exhilarate, tapped in there really, really lightly, and just tucked it in this corner here. And it just added that little extra brightness, especially for me, because I have such a dark inner corner. And it's not too much. It's a highlight, but it does brighten everything up. Refer Lash Curler. Let's get these lashes going because it's never complete. Never complete without the mascara, right? Am I right? Whatever powder is left on this brush that I use to set my lids, I have been just dusting it on very, very lightly. I feel like it thickens up my lashes a little bit and it doesn't interfere with the application of the mascara. It doesn't make it clump or anything. I've just been doing this and I did that the other day, so I want to do the exact same thing. Then I took my Milk Makeup Kush Eyelash Primer and applied that to the lashes. I love this lash primer. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talk about it, but I love it. And I'm going to use the Gucci mascara. I don't necessarily need a primer with that mascara, but I want to do exactly what I did the other day. This Gucci mascara, it needs no help. It needs no help. But because I had such a smoky eye, it's smoky, but it's not like an overpowering smoky. It's smoky with a twist, you know? It's almost like you could do this for every day and for a night out. Like it's so bold in a very, very subtle way. It's the only way I can describe this. And I don't know. I'm going to call it smoky with a twist, but it's not really a twist, but you know what I mean. Grab my mirror here because it's best to apply your mascara while you're looking down. Avoid getting it on your eyelid. I really hope my Sephora order arrives soon. I've been dying to try out that new foundation, that Westman Atelier bronzer. My goodness, that packaging really drew me in. And as we know, I am a sucker for packaging. And also that Charlotte Tilbury, those 9 pans that everyone's losing their mind over the packaging of it. You know what I feel? I'm going to say something a little bit maybe not popular. I have noticed something, okay? I have noticed that one creator will say something about a particular product and then everyone runs with it. Not necessarily in this case, but in general, it kind of reminded me, like I hear everyone saying the same thing. Oh my God, the packaging is drugstore. And then that's all you hear everyone saying. Like I don't know. It's not to say that it's not true and not to say that it doesn't look drugstore, but I'll see when I get it. But at the same time, I don't know. It's something that I've been picking up on, and I don't know if you agree. I don't know if I'm going to leave this in this video. Should I? Maybe not. Because it could very well be the general consensus on a product. But, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury as an example. I've seen it. I've seen it with other products as well. There seems to be like a catchphrase to describe it, or something that is less desirable about a product or very desirable about a product. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Okay, getting this Guerlain off of my lips. And the lip that I did in that video, I wanted to go, on the nude side just to play up the eyes a little bit. To line the lips, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills in Muted Mauve, Mauve, however you say it. Line the lips. I did feather in the corners. And I didn't necessarily overline, but slightly. And I did kind of go in the Cupid's bow a little bit, not too high, because as much as I love that look, you can see it. Okay, you can see it when you overline your Cupid's bow too much. It's nice just a little bit, but when did having a perfect heart-shaped Cupid's bow become something you didn't want to show off, right? I don't know, that's how I feel. Lots of thoughts coming out today. Then I took MAC in the shade Yash, their new nudes line that they released. So this is nude, but not too nude where it makes me look dead. But it does give me that nude effect, nude lip effect. And I find that using it with the Muted Mauve from ABH, that they kind of pick up on one another and they work perfectly. So that lip color completely changed this whole look, right? Yeah. And finally, I finished off with Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Brings everything together, makes it last all day, and it just feels good, and it smells good too. All right, well, I think I nailed it. As always, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you try to recreate this look and how it goes for you. Everything I've used will be listed and linked in the description box. If you use those links to do any shopping you happen to do, it does help my channel out, and I thank you very much in advance. Please do consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! I had so much fun doing this.